everybody, I'm Deadwood, and welcome to video 1 of 6 in my Halloween special for 2015. This video, as you could probably tell by the title, is all about paranormal and supernatural experiences. The reason this video will be all supernatural stories is I figured it's a little easier to listen to a 15 to 20 minute video rather than an hour-long video or so. With that said, I will also have a playlist all set up so you could listen to it all at once if you like. As always, the stories will be put in the description below so you can go read up and check it out for yourself. I was also lucky enough this time to actually get a video to go along with it, and that will be put in the description as well. Without further ado, here are 5 supernatural stories for you to enjoy. Hey everyone, I just wanted to share an experience I had last weekend. I was staying at a lake house that some friends of mine have owned for over a decade, and the encounter was the night before the supermoon eclipse. The room I was staying in was fairly small and had a tiny twin bed. The room had a bathroom attached to it with no door besides the one leading out of the bathroom to the kitchen. The only other entrance into the room was a sliding door that was closed. And even with the air on, the room was a bit hot, so I was in and out of sleep, rolling over and such throughout the night. At one point during the night, I instantly awoke, heart pounding, with the feeling of someone near me. It was similar to the feeling you get when you're playing hide-and-go-seek or hiding somewhere in a sibling's room getting ready to scare them. I was lying on my side, facing the bathroom, and slowly opened my eyes to a half slit to look around. Even in the pitch black, I could see a darker area slowly walking through the bathroom threshold into my room. I could feel a cold gust of air as it walked around the bed towards the other side of me. I decided to open my eyes and turn my head quickly in its direction. I couldn't see anything or sense the figure anymore. The next day, I was asking my friends about the house and who owned it before them. They told me that the neighbor had actually built the house for his mother when she was older and needed taken care of. She eventually lived out her days and died in the house, in the room I was sleeping in. I then told them about my experience, and they were shocked, never hearing that from any of their previous guests. Not being my first paranormal experience, I was glad to learn the history of the house, and possibly the spirit of the person I saw. Before I start this, I think it's advised to take this with a grain of salt. Although I swear I'm not telling a single lie about what I saw, it must be taken into account that I was only 6 years old back then, and my imagination was very, very wild, especially after I had been listening to my mom reading me about paranormal and the like. Also, I apologize if I posted this somehow wrong. I'm still really new to this. Like I said, I was 6 years old when this happened. It was evening already, and Mom had already finished reading a children's book about magic and paranormal and things related. I was returning to my bedroom when I saw a man in my room, or rather, what at least resembled a man. The creature was tall, probably around 180 centimeters or so, and reminded me of a shadow in a way that it didn't look three-dimensional. It was orangish in color, and it looked like a hologram of sort, with the image being static and uneven. If you have seen any movies with bad, almost fading holograms of people, you might know what I mean. The creature was standing in front of my closets, which had a mirror on top of them, and it looked like it was searching for something. Of course, with my brain of a 6-year-old, I first froze still, and then immediately dashed off to my mom, telling her there was a weird static man in my room. Naturally, after having read the paranormal book for me and all, she just brushed it off as my imagination playing tricks on my child mind. And, admittedly, I believed so too. I was a kid, but I was very skeptical about things and wanted to find a logical explanation to everything before claiming something paranormal was going on. I calmed down and returned back to my empty room. But I was still a little scared and decided to hide under my table for some time to calm down. There was a long tablecloth over the table, completely blocking my view as I sat under it. I don't know how long I sat there, maybe 5 minutes or so, before I decided it was probably safe to go out. I moved the tablecloth slowly and peeked from behind it, just to see a static leg right in front of me. The creature was again there where it had been standing previously, and I fast pulled the tablecloth back and tried to cover my mouth so I wouldn't scream and bring its attention to me. Eventually, my nerves got the better of me, and I stormed off right to my mom, scared as hell and hesitant to return to my room for some time. I've never seen the static man after that, although I have seen lots of other things and experienced even more. I feel like this thing I experienced as a child has been so far the most bizarre of them. As a side note, after that incident, weird things started happening at my home. Things falling down on their own, doors opening, and so on. I swear I once also saw something looking at me from behind one door when I was home alone. But it all eventually ended when our old sauna room was redone. This next story comes with a video. I didn't get permission to use the video in here, but if you look in the description, you can see it for yourself, along with other videos from these urban explorers. A friend and I have an abandoned house we drive past all the time. Curiosity got the better of us, and we decided to poke around at around 2 a.m. I'm a cinematographer, and also a fan of urban exploration, so, of course, I wanted to bring cameras. We charged all the camera's lights and spare batteries up the day before, and got set to enter the house. The second I crossed the threshold of the doorway, my battery dropped from 100% to 1%, and powered down within 10 seconds. Not a great start, but luckily I had 2 more, so I stopped and swapped them, get them 100% signal, and start filming again. 10 more seconds pass, and the battery dies. So I charged the battery again. This time it seemed okay, so we began to explore. All the while, my camera continued to power down for no reason, but would start up right away. We decided to venture to the basement, and immediately it gets unsettling. The first noise on the camera went unnoticed by both of us until we reviewed the footage, but my friend heard the door open upstairs. I dismissed her and moved on. Then we began to hear footsteps above. This is when I started to get afraid. I didn't believe in ghosts or the paranormal, so my first thought was we were going to get arrested for trespassing. The footsteps continued to ring throughout the house for several minutes. We never heard voices or anyone call out. After a prolonged amount of silence, we got the nerves to go upstairs. Once we got to the top, we heard a loud thud, followed by a voice saying something. The people I've showed this say it sounds like hi, hide, or I did. I heard this and wanted to debunk it. So I kept around the corner, looking down toward the end of the house. Something heavy dropped to the floor, and I heard clothing ruffle and frantic breathing. This is what got me. I was converted to a believer right then and there. Unfortunately, the camera didn't pick up anything but the loud object hitting the floor. The camera cut out, and I was too concerned with the situation to hit the record button again. It had snowed the night before. After we got out of the house, we walked around the perimeter. It was across the road from a hotel and gas station, so we figured it was possible it was someone messing with us. After a quick circle around the house, we saw the only tracks in the fresh snow in or around the house were our own. We're also very sure it's not homeless or squatters, because on top of no evidence, the house is about 5 miles from anything other than the freeway, gas station, and trucker hotel. We went home and spent hours trying to find any information on the house and came up with nothing. No history of the address at all. There was a fire line in the garage, so we assumed there would be some old news article we could dig up for a little explanation. But we can't find any history or information about the house or the address. So, here's a backstory. I'm in the film industry. I want to be a director. A few years ago, me and some friends were doing an Indiegogo campaign to raise funds for a supernatural film called Malevolent. The film would be an homage to Poltergeist. We didn't get funded, but what ended up happening, though, was I experienced a few bizarre things while writing the script for the feature. So, the script called for an Ouija board, and in an early draft, the Ouija board was purchased at an estate sale. So, me being me, I purchased many Ouija boards at various estate sales. I was actually surprised at the amount I purchased in the span of a month. I had purchased 4 altogether, and 2 out of the 4 were complete sets. Number 1, I had never seen a bug in my apartment, and the day after purchasing the first board, I saw a huge fucking spider chilling on the yes symbol. I did think it was creepy, but ignored it. I took it as a goose sign. Number 2, we ended up getting 6 different cases for water damage in our unit. I have photos somewhere, but we were told we had one of the worst slab leaks in the entire history of the apartment. They could not pinpoint the problem, so we had to leave for 2 weeks while they replaced every single pipe and valve in the apartment. Number 3, my girlfriend and I started getting the "you're being watched" feeling. The feeling started after an incident. Number 4, so my girlfriend works in news as an editor, and she would get off work around 11 p.m. One night, while writing, I heard the door open and close, and I heard her keys fall on the counter. I looked at the clock, and it was around 9:45 p.m. I called out to her to see if everything was okay. I got up to check, and there was no purse, no keys, and both locks were still locked. Number 5, one night, my girlfriend was brushing her teeth in the bathroom, and I saw the bathroom light turn off. I felt and heard the sound of someone crawling in bed with you. My room was dark, so with the bathroom light off, it was almost pitch black. I felt for her and called out her name. I then heard a response from the bathroom. She opened the door and there was nothing in the bed. Number 6, the last incident was I felt someone tug at the back of my shirt. I turned around to see who did it, and again, nothing. I checked to see if my shirt could have been snagged on something, and again, nothing. So we moved out of there. Our lease was up, and we moved into a complex together. We burned sage, and for the most part, nothing happened. That is, until we had 3 leaks in the master bedroom. We're looking to buy a house. It got me thinking, though. I would like to intentionally try to get my house haunted and film the results. I don't know if what I experienced was a genuine haunting, a string of bad luck, or paranoia. So, wish me luck on this experiment. If you believe that Ouija boards have any sort of power, you'll be happy to learn that upon asking his girlfriend for permission to do this, she told him fuck no. So it's not happening, thank goodness. What I will tell you here is a completely true story. I still have no fucking clue what the hell this was. So, as a great DIY project, I decided to build an IP cam with my old Android. I even wrote a blog post about it. This cam basically broadcasted over the internet. I could connect to it through anywhere. Also, when the camera detects motion, it lets me know with an email, and it would start recording until the motion stops, then uploads the video to my Google Drive. I was out of town for a couple of days, and was living with a roommate back then, so I set up the camera to my room before leaving. It was facing directly to the door. One morning, when I was away, I woke up to see an email saying, "Motion detected," came around 5 a.m. I directly called my roommate, asking what the hell he was doing in my room, but he didn't know what I was talking about. Apparently, he was staying at his girlfriend's house and came to the house in the morning. He swore he left the door closed when he left, and it was closed when he came back. I thought it was a mistake until I checked my Google Drive. I fucking freaked out. It was the creepiest experience of my life, and I still don't know what the fuck it was in the video, and how the fuck the door is open. If you want to watch the entire video without listening to my voice, check in the description box. There'll be a link to the original down there. What I find interesting most about this video is not the stillness of the frame, but the fact that the timer in the bottom will say it's a little over 9 minutes, but the video doesn't go beyond 5. I don't know if that's a YouTube glitch or whatnot, but still, it's peculiar. The picture you're looking at right now is a photo of the bedroom with the lights on. I find it very unsettling to know how close that bed is to the door, considering we don't know what was in that door frame. Hey everybody. Well now, it looks like you've survived part 1 of 6 of the Halloween special. Part 2 will be uploaded tomorrow, unless you're watching this in a playlist, in which case you may proceed in a moment or so. I did find this video to be particularly challenging. While I find the paranormal and the supernatural to be interesting, and have had experiences of my own, I'm very skeptical when it comes to reading anything online. With that said, I'm not here to tell you whether these are real or not. So, until tomorrow, I'll leave you with your nightmares. Good night, guys.